Good morning, students. Today we will discuss. Good morning, students. Today we will discuss operating system. In the previous lecture of the operating system, we have discussed what is actually operating system. In the main part, we have seen that operating system is a middle tier, or you can say, works in the middle of the hardware and the user's view. So the operating system interact with the hardware, and at the same time it also interacts with the user through applications program. So now today we will discuss batch operating system and time sharing operating system. What is batch operating system? In batch operating system, different jobs are clubbed, or you can say the similar jobs are clubbed in a form of batch and putting for the in front of the CPU or the processor for executing. The users of a batch operating system do not interact with the computer directly. What does it mean? It means you are just giving your jobs to a computer operator. It will collect your jobs, and it will also sort out the similar sort of jobs and putting the similar sort of jobs putting in a batch and then running and then and produce in front of the certain CPU. So each user prepares his job on an offline device. Suppose you want to run your program, you will have to prepare your jobs offline device like punch cards. Earlier the punch cards have been used, so and punch card and and submit your jobs to the computer operator. To speed up processing, jobs with similar needs are batched together. The programs or the jobs, those who are having similar needs, they are grouped or they are clubbed in one batch. Like we are suppose that there are several students in a college, so we are having some batches that you are belong to the EC batch, you are belong to the CS batch, you belong to the some other batch. So similarly the similar kind of jobs are clubbed together, and they are producing, and they make a batch and run in a group. So the programmer leave their programs with the operator, and the operator then sorts the program with similar requirement, make the batches, and then run the program. So, however, there is no solution for that in the batch operating system. You will have to, give your jobs to the operator in the form of the punch card, and the operator will sort these things and running the program. So in this, I think it is very clear to you what is batch operating system is. In batch operating systems, the jobs are running in batches. For example, you can say 4 or 5 jobs or more than jobs, but they should have similar requirements. This is very important point we should remember. So in this figure, you are seeing that job 1, job 2, job 3, and job 4 are there, and the operating system is also there. So these jobs are putting, or the similar sort of jobs are putting in the form of a batch. Then operating system will run these programs. So actually, these jobs are kept in the main memory. We are in the computer, we are having the hard disk, or you can say the secondary storage, and one is the main memory. So these all jobs are kept into the main memory at the same time, and the CPU is multiplexed among them. CPU is also providing multiplex so that it can execute this multiplex so that it can execute the more jobs. So this is multi-program batch system. Why it is calling multi-program? Because multiple program in the form of a jobs are running in a batch. So that is why it is called multi-program batch system. what features that is needed for operating system to perform the multi-programming. The one is input output routine supplied by the system. Second is memory management. Memory management is one of the important point or the features. So the system must allocate the memory to several jobs. Since there are several jobs which are running, so every job requires some sort of memory. So it is the duty that of the operating system that it should allocate memory to this job. CPU scheduling. CPU scheduling is another feature that is also required for the multi-programming. In CPU scheduling, the system must choose among several jobs ready to run. Since there are several jobs which are ready to run, CPU will have to choose which job with the jobs which are ready that should be executed by the processor. So CPU scheduling should be there. CPU scheduling means the CPU must apply a policy that which job should be assigned first. However, there could be a different scheduling scheme like first come first serve. The jobs which are coming first will execute first, or some priority scheduling. However, there is no priority scheduling is there in this case in the batch operating system. However, some other, later on we will also study what are the CPU scheduling and how what are the different kind of scheduling schemes are exist in this operating system. So this is also one of the feature of the operating system. Next is allocation of devices. Allocation of devices is also one of the feature of this operating system. So as we will see, the main features are input output routine, memory management, CPU scheduling, and allocation of devices. What are the problems with the batch operating system? The main problem with the batch operating system is the lack of interaction between the user and the job. Since you are just giving your jobs and you do not know about that, you are just, hand over your task to the operator and then the operator will take care of that. So this is a lack of interaction between the user and the job. Second, since CPU speed is very high as compared to input output operation or the input output devices. So CPU speed is high as compared to input output devices. So it is often seen that CPU is often idle because the speed of the mechanical input output devices is slower than the CPU. So the CPU time is waste. However, CPU is very uh, costly. So it should be the aim that it should be maximum utilization of the CPU should be there. But some it is seen that it is less utilized. So in that case, you can say this is the problem with the batch operating system. There is also one problem that it is difficult to provide the desired priority. Actually, you do not know. However, if you are running yourself the program, then you should know that this thing or this job must be given more priority than the others. But when you are giving your jobs to the computer operator, he's just running the program with the help of only the similar needs the program should run. So it is very difficult to provide a desired priority. The next we will discuss is time sharing operating system or the time sharing system. So time sharing is a technique enables many people located at various terminals to use a particular computer system at the same time. What happens in the time sharing system? There are different systems, or you can say the system terminal. When we are saying terminal, we mean to say the terminal is only a monitor and the keyboard will be there. No memory and CPU part will be there. There will be only one computer system which is connecting to these different terminals located at various terminals. So use a particular system at the same time. Suppose there are 5 terminals are there. These 5 terminals are attached to a computer system. These terminals having monitor and the keyboard, but rest of the things are there in one computer system. So what happens with the time sharing system? Everybody is writing their tasks and try to running their jobs. So everybody is assigned some task, some time, and in that time, that terminal will execute their job. So time sharing or multitasking is a logical extension of multiprogramming. Processor's time, which is shared among multiple users simultaneously, is termed as time sharing. So what happens in this, that suppose there are four terminals are there and one CPU is there, one system is there, that CPU time is distributed among four terminals, and so that they can run the program simultaneously. The main difference between multi-program based system and the time sharing system is that in case of multi-program based system, the objective is to maximize processor use. However, in the case of the time sharing system, the objective is to minimize response time. Response time should be quick. Quick in that sense that there are four terminals which is attached to a system. The response time will be quick so that every terminal is get the feeling that it is having a separate system. Since as soon as the terminal one is giving command, it is get executing, so it feels that it is executing at the same time it is providing the command. So in time sharing, uh, time is actually time as shared. Multiple jobs are executing by the CPU by switching between them. How the CPU is executing? The suppose there are four jobs are there. How the CPU is executing? CPU is executing by switching from job 1 to job 2, job 2 to job 3, job 3 to job 4 like this. Suppose CPU is executing job 1 and at the same time job 1 is require some input output requirement, input output requirements. In that case, what happens? Input output requirement is slower than CPU speed. So what CPU does? CPU moves to the another job, let's say job 2, and in the meantime when the job 1 is getting the input output, then it is running to the another program. Okay, so this is the case with this. So time, multiple jobs are executing by the CPU by switching between them, but the switches occur so frequently that the users can receive an immediate response. The operating system uses CPU scheduling and multiprogramming to provide each user with a small portion of a time. Computer systems that were designed primarily as batch systems have been converted into the time sharing system. What are the advantage and disadvantage of the time sharing system? Advantage of the time sharing system are it provides the quick response, avoid duplication of software, and it is reduced CPU idle time. Okay, so actually, what are the disadvantage in the batch operating system? Most of the time CPU is idle. This is the advantage of this time sharing, that the is reduces CPU idle time. However, the disadvantage is also there. The one is the disadvantage, the problem of reliability, question of security and integrity of the user programs in the data, and problem of data communication. That is also the problem with the time sharing system. So in the next topic, we will discuss this parallel system, distributed system, and the real-time system. Thank you.